Don't forget to load up on coins before team of the season and check out FIFACoinZone.com. I'll have a link to them in the description down below. There's a 15% discount if you use the code FANGS. They are quick, they are reliable. Don't forget to check them out. Hey guys, how's it going? It is Fangs and welcome to a story video because you guys love to see these that I'm going to be giving you today. As you can see by the title and by the skeleton, which by the way is my actual skeleton that you see on the thumbnail, the story is about how I snapped my collarbone in half. Now, you might have clicked on the title and thought, oh my god, she did it right now. No, it actually happened way back whenever I was, I think, like 10 or 11 years old. I was in 5th grade, so I don't remember what the age was when it happened, but I'm gonna tell you exactly how it took place. So, I lived in Miami, Oklahoma. At this point, I lived with my mom, and I was really into like BMX at this time. Like I had like a little BMX. I don't know what type of bike. I know I started out with like a Mongoose, but that was like a cheap version. I ended up getting, I think it was called some kind of like Rhino bike. And it was one of those silver BMX bikes that had like the pegs on it and had the special tires. And I tried to attempt to do things like different tricks and different jumps. And I thought it was really cool because I could like go and spin my handlebars around and stay on it and all kinds of stuff. But I wasn't really that amazing at it, to be honest. I wasn't good at all. And I did this a lot with my cousins. I had 2 boy cousins, one named Jeremy and one named Travis. And I did this, like, we would just go ride all around the town. It was a very small town, so you could just ride your bike anywhere, no problem. And that's all we ever did. I think it was the summertime when it was not at all. It was actually Christmas whenever this took place because my mom was Christmas shopping when it happened. But I lived in a house that was this blue house on the end of a street, and I lived in a lot of houses at this age, by the way, so if you've heard a lot of stories, you're like, oh wait, this house is different than the last house, because I lived in about like 17 different houses from age probably 3 until I was about 12, and then I moved with my dad, and then I stayed in the same house for a while. But anyway, random. By the way, background, I'm moving. We don't judge it, remember, we don't judge the ugly walls, we don't do that. So, blue house, it has a porch. I would have to say it was probably 3 feet off the ground, maybe 4, but I would say maybe 3.5 feet off the ground, so it was pretty high off the ground. It went all the way across the front of the house. I'll try to find a picture of the house, but I don't exactly remember the address. I might have to ask my mom about it. And so I'm sitting there with my cousin Travis, and Jeremy's not there at this time, I don't think. I don't know what happened. My mom is gone. She's Christmas shopping. I think Christmas was maybe 2 weeks away, so she was out Christmas shopping, and I'm riding on my bike. I'm like going down the stairs because it has little stairs or whatever, and I thought it was really cool that I could ride my bike down the stairs or whatever. And at one point, my cousin Travis decides to say to me, which is the one thing you don't say to me at this age, because I didn't think I could die. I had like no scare or worry in the world. He says, I bet you can't do a backflip off of your porch with your bike. And I'd never attempted a backflip. I'd never attempted anything like that. I made some pretty big jumps at this time, but I had never attempted anything like it. And whenever I went to look at the like idea of doing it, I didn't hesitate at all. Which is something that if I think about now to this day, I would instantly say no, because I know I couldn't do it. But at that age, you're just invincible. You don't know anything about it. So I didn't hesitate. And I looked at it. The porch was long, so I was like, I know I was going to be able to gain a whole bunch of speed, but I didn't exactly think to myself how I would gain like the angle, or I guess I don't even know, the momentum and what you would actually need off of a jump to be able to do the backflip. I didn't think like that. I don't know what I was thinking. So the build up, I get on my bike and I'm like, of course I can do it. Of course I'm gonna try to do it. You know what? I've been riding my bike for probably 2 years now. I'd ride a bike my whole life, but I've been like into this part for maybe 2 years now. I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give it a try. And so I get on my bike. I can remember it so clearly up to a certain point. But I get on my bike. He's sitting out here at the outside. My mom's not home. No neighbors are outside or anything like that. So nobody's there to be like, what are you doing? And I get on my bike and I start to ride it as fast as I could. I go up to the porch. I actually like get a little bit, because of the speed, I get a little bit of a pickup. And so I was able to bring myself up and go like almost halfway of the backflip. But then at that point, because there was no momentum and nothing else, I just dropped completely down to the ground, face first, landed the way I landed. I hit the ground and it jerked my neck to the left. And then it was almost like I don't even know, like I speared the ground. And then the bike took my legs and it kind of like flipped me. I don't really remember exactly how that took place, but it like flipped me down to where I ended up laying, I woke up, it knocked me out. So I woke up on my back. And I remember like waking up and my cousin Travis was over me and he was just like, and I like feel up, like I don't know, I started moving, like am I okay, like what just happened? And I remember moving my arm a little bit, or both my arms, and for some reason my left arm just was not moving the way it should have been. So I was like, what the like I thought maybe, I broke my arm. I'd never broken a bone that severe at the time, so I thought maybe I broke that. And I like look over, just glanced down at my left, and I can't see it, but I can feel that something is wrong and I can't see what's going on. And my cousin Travis just looked at it and he's like pretty much fainted. And I guess from what you can see, because it's really hard, if you're looking down at your left, you can't see the collarbone, but the collarbone apparently had broken in half and part of it was like protruding out of the skin. And so he's just like, oh my God. And I don't even know what that bone is at the time. Like, I don't know anything about it. So I like get up and I'm start freaking out because he's freaking out and I can feel the pain at this point. Like I can feel it because it's just disgusting. If you've ever broken your collarbone, it feels horrific. I feel the pain and it's just unbearable. So I get up and I start running. I don't know why, but I start running into my house. We have this Dalmatian at the time and the Dalmatian's like freaking out, trying to jump on me and I'm like, get off of me. And I'm just freaking out, screaming. My mom's not there. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. And at this point, I don't realize it, but I guess my mom had called the plumber and she's really good friends with the family that did our plumbing or whatever. So the plumber somehow, some way happened to be there. And so he comes running into the room. He's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm just like, ah! I don't even like tell him what's wrong. I just scream bloody murder. Like I can't think of anything else to do but scream bloody murder. And he sees what has happened and I still can't even see what has happened or what it looks like. And I can just like, I don't even try to feel it. Like it hurt so much that I didn't even try to feel what was happening with it. And he's like, oh my God. And so he gets me, he puts me in his truck and he ends up having to take me to the emergency room, which was not that far away. It was probably like 4 blocks away. I could have walked there, but obviously I didn't need to be walking there. My cousin Travis rode on his bike behind him. And I ended up getting to the emergency room and I remember like the doctor sitting down with me. I was sitting in the chair with him and I'm just dead pain. I think they had given me stuff to try to like, sedate it or make me feel better. But I'm just in all of this pain and he's like needing to feel around. He's feeling my arms and he goes to like feel kind of near there and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you feeling down there? He's like, I need to see like what all exactly could be broken. And I'm like, you can see what's broken. I remember like saying something like that. I was so upset. And nobody could get a hold of my mom because at that time there was no cell phones. So there was no way to get a hold of her. So luckily my stepdad at the time, which is the father of my brother and sister, his mom worked at the hospital and she had like heard about it. So she came down and she was there to comfort me and my cousin was there to comfort me. But I had to get x-rays while I was there. Like I got my arm put into a sling. I had to get x-rays. They had to do like a bunch of different stuff because obviously it was like protruding. And so I had all of this work done. I felt like I was there for days, but I was actually there for probably only like 4 hours or something like that. And at some point my mom actually found out about it and she ended up showing up to the hospital. So I had to get this like brace that they put on you. I don't know if you've ever broken your collarbone, but you wear, for one, my neck was messed up too. I'd done something to my neck, so I had like a neck brace. And then I had this collarbone thing, and what it does is it like makes you like, it lifts you up and it just like makes you walk around. At that point I considered it called me looking like Frankenstein, and you had it over your shirt. So it was like these little like, I don't know, you looked ridiculous with it on. And then I had a little thing holding my arm here. And it was just terrible. The worst thing about breaking your collarbone, not to mention that the reason that you did it is because you tried to do a backflip off your porch with your bike, which I never rode a bike, I don't think, past that until I was like a much older age because it was just so much for me. Broke the bike and everything. But anyway, the most terrible part is, for one, you have to sleep sitting up. So like I remember at one point I tried to get in my bed and I tried to lay back down and it just slowly would like, it like opens back up almost. It just... I know this hurts. If you're thinking about it, it hurts really bad, but it kind of opens back up. So I had to sleep sitting up. I think I had my very first alcoholic beverage at this time because my mom thought it would be like amazing to give me a wine cooler because I was like obviously in so much pain and apparently that should have like muffled my pain a little bit, but I tried my first wine cooler. And yeah, I had to wear that for probably, I think it was a good 5 months. I ended up moving schools because at one point I moved with my dad for like a couple of months right when this happened. And I went to a different school and I remember being like so embarrassed because I had to wear the brace or whatever, but I got to get out of gym class, which at that time I was really into because I did enjoy sports growing up, but gym class was always so boring. So I got to like sit on the side and chill. But I ended up going back with it and going back to my old school. Either way, it was 5 to 6 months of it, and every now and then, even like if you've broken your collarbone, I don't know if you have, every now and then if I hit it too hard, like one time I went tubing and I'll hit it and it just like swells up and it gets really big. Like I think you can easily re-break it after you do it the first time, but that is how I broke my collarbone, and it was the worst injury I've ever had. I've suffered some, like I've broken a lot of fingers, I've had high ankle sprains, I've had stuff like that happen, but that is the worst injury I've ever experienced in my entire life. And that is going to be it for this story today, guys. If you guys have broken some bones and you want to tell me about it, like, obviously don't get too graphic. Some people have, you know, weak stomachs. Put it down in the comments down below if you did enjoy this story and you want to hear other ones. Like, I have all kinds of stories. I have some more ghost stories. I have some more, like, crazy stories of stuff that's happened to me. But I don't know, like, if you guys like these. I need to know by you hitting the thumbs up button. That would be awesome. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.